Kendrick Lamar Duckworth and Aubrey Drake Graham have disliked each other for a decade now. So we'll start with the Drake and J. Cole song, First Person Shooter, where J. Cole says Kendrick and Drake are the big...
Kendrick Lamar with AI, Tupac, and Snoop Dogg vocals on tailor-made
So Drake and Kendrick Lamar are beefing. Drake wrote a beef, and he did AI Snoop and AI Tupac talking about how disappointed they are.
Drake initially told us that one of Kendrick's kids was actually Dave Freeze. This has been confirmed false by DJ Academics.
Drake is ready for round 2 in his feud with Kendrick, and this time he's targeting Kendrick's fiancée, Whitney, with some harsh remarks. Earlier, Drake stirred the pot by suggesting Kendrick was mistreating Whitney and even getting physical with her. He also took a shot at Whitney for not speaking out about these accusations. But now, Whitney has responded with a new Instagram post, though it's probably not what Drake was expecting. It seems like Kendrick and Whitney aren't letting Drake's comment get to them, and that's really frustrating Drake. On the other side, Drake's fans are losing it, pushing a wild theory that Whitney's silence is because Kendrick is allegedly controlling her and her social media. It's crazy how far they'll go to avoid facing the fact that Drake might have lost this rap battle. But what exactly did Whitney post on Instagram? And why is Drake so eager to keep this drama alive and go for round 2? Let's dive into the details and find out. But of course, before we go any further, make sure first that you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more updates and videos like this. Now let's get going.
Academics.
Drake, you did the same thing twice now. You mentioned Virginia Williams or whatever, Pusha T's wife, and you saw that took the gloves off, and we saw what happened. You mentioned Whitney, and Kendrick Lamar's wife name is Whitney. You have to be prepared.
Telling us that he sent fake information to Kendrick? Well, guess what? That means Kendrick really did have a mole in Drake's camp. It also makes you wonder, what else was Drake
When we gonna understand that we are put on earth to love? That's all it's about.
Kendrick Lamar and his fiancée, Whitney Alford, have been together since high school. They met at Centennial High School in Compton, California, and started out as friends. Their friendship soon turned into a romance. Today, they're still going strong and have a lovely family with 2 kids, a daughter named Uzi and a son named Enoch. Kendrick and Whitney first caught the public's attention in 2014 when they appeared together on the Grammy Awards red carpet.
To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar.
Whitney.
Though they've kept most of their relationship private, Kendrick has been dropping hints about Whitney in his music for years, even back in 2009 with his EP, Kendrick Lamar. Songs like She Needs Me and Determined featured lyrics praising a woman who's been a major source of support and strength in his life.
Figure out how complicated life is and break it down. This is what I truly think. I really think that it's going to keep going on. War gonna keep going on, frustration gonna keep going on, anger gonna keep going on, till we finally go back down to the simplest word, love.
In April 2022, Kendrick surprised everyone by announcing his long-awaited 5th album after a 5-year break. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers came out the next month, and the album cover gave fans a rare glimpse into Kendrick's personal life. On May 11th, Kendrick shared the cover on Instagram, showing him, Whitney, and their young daughter, who was born in July 2019. Even though Kendrick and Whitney hadn't shared much about their daughter before, the cover also showed Whitney holding a baby, hinting that they had another child. Kendrick confirmed he proposed to Whitney in a 2015 interview with Power 105.1, the same year he released his 3rd album, To Pimp a Butterfly. Before the album dropped, Kendrick talked about Whitney in an interview with Billboard, saying she was more than just his girlfriend. "I wouldn't even call her my girl," Kendrick said. "She's my best friend. I don't even like the term society uses for a partner. She's someone I can share my fears with." Then in 2018, Whitney confirmed their engagement by posting a photo on Instagram showing off her sparkling diamond ring.
I will always love you for supporting me and keeping me motivated into being the best person.
There's been a lot of buzz that Kendrick and Whitney might have secretly married, though neither of them has confirmed or denied it. But let's be clear, it hasn't always been smooth sailing for them. Kendrick admitted on his album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, that he cheated on Whitney while on tour and took her for granted because of his own insecurities. This is why Drake's attempt to call Kendrick out for being fake woke didn't really land. Kendrick is probably one of the most honest rappers about his own flaws. He openly talks about his struggles with infidelity, toxic masculinity, prejudice, and other issues in his music. Plus, he's consistently made it clear that he's not trying to be anyone's savior or messiah. For Drake to try to use this as a gotcha moment, it seems like he never really listened to Kendrick's music. It was a weak move that didn't really work because Kendrick has already been open about everything. So when that plan failed, Drake decided to turn up the pettiness to the max. He pushed this nasty story about Kendrick supposedly getting physical with Whitney, even though there's no proof to back it up. And if that wasn't enough, Drake recently took another shot at Whitney, almost mocking her for staying quiet about those false claims. Drake seems to be taking his beef with Kendrick to a whole new level of pettiness. Recently, he hired model Braden Ferguson for his OVO clothing brand, and she looks a lot like Whitney. When photos of Braden modeling the latest OVO collection hit Instagram, fans couldn't help but notice how similar she looks to Whitney. We're talking the same hairstyle, the same vibe, and even a white tank top just like the one Whitney wore in the Not Like Us video. Seriously, what are the chances that Drake just happened to choose a model who looks like she could be Kendrick's fiance's twin? Fans are definitely seeing through this and calling him out for being weird. Instead of addressing Kendrick directly, Drake's once again targeting women in his feud. It's kind of his go-to move. Whenever a guy disses him, Drake tends to go after the women in their lives instead of dealing with a guy himself.
One of my favorite lines in the album is where Whit say, "You really need to go to therapy." And I say, "Real go to therapy." Because that's how feel, you know what I'm saying? We grew up where our parents don't know about that, our grandparents don't know about that.
Here's where it gets even stranger. Drake's been pushing this narrative in his diss tracks that Whitney is a victim, suggesting that Kendrick mistreats her. So if he genuinely believes that, why is he now mocking her by hiring a model who looks just like her? It's like he's trying to have it both ways, saying he's defending her while using her as a pawn in his petty games. Fans are rightfully questioning why, if Drake truly sees Whitney as a victim, is he targeting her like this? Drake first brought up Whitney in his diss track Push-Ups with the line, "I be with some bodyguards like Whitney." He used a clever double meaning here, comparing himself to Whitney Houston from the 1992 film The Bodyguard, while also taking a jab at Kendrick's fiancée Whitney, who was on the cover of Kendrick's 2022 album Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers with Kendrick and a hidden gun. But Drake didn't stop there. In his track Family Matters, he escalated things by suggesting that Kendrick is mistreating Whitney and even hinted that one of her kids might not be Kendrick's, but his longtime friend, Dave Freeze. Drake was on a Bobby Brown vibe saying, "I want to know what Whitney needs," which references Kendrick's mistreatment of Whitney Houston. He also claimed that Kendrick and Whitney's teenage romance was over by their late teens and hinted that Kendrick never holds his son in photos. Then Drake made some wild accusations suggesting that Whitney is a victim and that Dave Free is the father of one of her kids. Drake raps, "You a dog and you know it. You just play sweet. Your baby mama captions always screaming, 'Save me.' You did her dirt all your life. You trying to make peace. I heard that one of them little kids might be Dave Free." Later in the track, he doubles down on his claims, rapping, "When you put your hands on your girl, is it self-defense? 'Cause she's bigger than you? They hired a crisis management team to clean up the fact that you beat up on your queen."
I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos.
It's still unclear why Drake chose to spread these rumors about Kendrick allegedly mistreating Whitney, especially since there's no evidence to support these claims, just online gossip. After Kendrick released Not Like Us, Whitney's brother, Taylor Alford, publicly backed Kendrick on X saying, "FM bro." If Drake's allegations were true, it wouldn't make much sense for Whitney's brother to support someone who's supposedly mistreating his sister and fathered her kids, would it?
That I'm going to, will I get caught up in the lifestyle and would that make me or break me? And that was what the whole record was about when I did that.
What's even more interesting is that Kendrick seemed to see this coming. He talked about the whole situation on the track Euphoria before Family Matters even dropped. Kendrick pretty much predicted that Drake would make up a wild story about his family because he misunderstood the message of Mr. Morale. The best comeback? Whitney appearing in the music video for Not Like Us, where she's happily dancing with Kendrick and their kids. This completely shut down Drake's claim that Whitney is a helpless victim always looking for help. Let's play devil's advocate for a moment and say Drake was right, and Kendrick really was mistreating Whitney. If that were true, then Drake would be showing he doesn't actually care about real victims. Why would he use the situation as a joke and even hire a model who looks just like Whitney for his OVO collection just to mock her? If Drake truly thinks Whitney is a victim, shouldn't he leave her alone and focus on Kendrick directly? This is exactly why many people just can't take Drake seriously anymore. Plus, this isn't the first time Drake has dragged a rapper's girlfriend or wife into his beef. It seems like every time Drake drops a diss track, he has to bring up his opponent's girl. Remember when he went after Serena Williams during his drama with her ex Common? And then later, he took shots at Serena directly, calling her husband Alexis a groupie? Drake has also used Nicki Minaj as a punchline in his feud with Meek Mill. He name-dropped Pusha's fiancée, Virginia, and hasn't stopped shading Rihanna and A$AP Rocky ever since Rihanna friend-zoned him. On Family Matters, he even hinted at The Weeknd's ex, Bella Hadid, calling her a hoe, even though she has nothing to do with their beef.
Unbelievable what's happening.
What is wrong with Kendrick Lamar?
They're just beef. This rap it's competitive. They beef sometimes. I think Kendrick started this one.
Well,
so.
hip hop is an interesting thing because I love hip hop, but I don't really love.
No matter how hard Drake tries to push the narrative that Kendrick is mistreating the mother of his kids, Whitney remains unbothered. She's made it clear once again that Drake's lies can't touch her or her family.
Boosie, who had to go to court to fight, 6 murder cases and win. This guy understands real life and not fantasy.
Whitney, who rarely posts on social media, recently shared new pictures of herself and the kids on Instagram. She also introduced her nonprofit organization, Love Plus Ethos, based in LA, which aims to support women through postpartum and their journey into motherhood. Whitney is truly the queen of unbothered. She's not letting Drake get under her skin or dragging herself down to his petty level. Instead, she posted a carousel with 16 photos, including some really sweet moments with her kids, and wrote in the caption, "It's been a while. Still thanking God for every day I get the opportunity to experience life, even on days I say F this S. Waking up, putting my uniform on, jeans one leg at a time, and a tank top over my bald head, G.I. Jane in this B, living inside of my answered prayers. Loving me, loving my family, working daily to assist in lifting the collective frequency, could use all the help on this one, happy to be outside in the sun, chilling with my babies, grateful for the opportunity to be their mommy, learning to see life the way they see it, because my way seems a little warped. They are the inspiration behind the work that I'm doing through Love Plus Ethos, my new baby. I'm excited for more healing and writing the next chapter in my book of life. I hope life is being good to y'all too." Now you might be wondering, why didn't she mention Kendrick? Well, she actually did. For Father's Day back in June, Whitney posted a photo of her family and shared a heartfelt message about fatherhood. "I choose to celebrate them for stepping up instead of stepping out, for providing, for assisting us women, for healing, for showing up physically, and most importantly, for showing up emotionally." She wrote in part, concluding the caption with, "Happy Father's Day at Kendrick Lamar." In these new photos Whitney shared, there's even one of her wearing Kendrick's glasses, the same ones he wore at the pop-up concert in Inglewood in June. So for all the haters hoping Drake's lies would tear Kendrick and Whitney apart, sorry, but it only made them closer. Unlike Drake, who got defensive about those PDF allegations and the rumors about his secret daughter, Kendrick and Whitney didn't even flinch. Just when we thought Drake might finally let it go, he's stirring the pot again. He recently dropped 3 new songs out of nowhere: SOD, Circadian Rhythm, and No Face, featuring Playboi Carti. In No Face, Drake throws a warning to all the rappers who've dissed him with the line, "I'm over the moon. Yeah, we'll see you boys soon." But of course, Drake didn't stop there. He also took to his Finsta to post a cryptic message about winning Game 2. He shared and quickly deleted a video of NBA star Rasheed Wallace, who was fired up after his Detroit Pistons lost their first game against the Indiana Pacers in the 2004 Eastern Conference Finals. In the clip, Wallace confidently declares his team will win Game 2.
Put it in the front page, back page, middle of the page, wherever. Headliners, column 1 or 2, we will win Game 2. Backing off. We will win Game 2.
However,
fans are saying this is just embarrassing. They think if Drake really wants to keep the beef going, he should at least use Kendrick's name and diss him directly. The sneak dissing isn't making the impact he thinks it is. One fan said, "You were in a high-profile battle where you got whooped and humiliated, and now you're back to subliminals. It's embarrassing. Just say his name already. We all know who you're talking about." Another fan added, "What more can be said? He's had 3 songs to diss Kendrick and fell flat. He even begged for a response. Now he and his OVO crew get upset when people enjoy his music, and he wants round 2. Sir, sit down." Meanwhile, in May this year, Amid Drake and Kendrick Lamar's feud, fans have taken a deep dive into the Six God lyrics. Fans believe he hinted at Kendrick Lamar's alleged infidelity in 2020 through the song Pop Star, before he mentioned it again on Drake, as claimed that Kendrick's fiancée Whitney Alford has cheated on him with his bodyguard. Bodyguards don't look like Kevin Costner. You tweaking? Just pulled up to Whitney, Houston, Texas for the evening. Drake raps on DJ Khaled's Pop Star. However, when it comes to infidelities, Kendrick has admitted to cheating on Alford in his own music. On Mother, I Sober, from Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, he raps, "Intoxicated. There's a lustful nature that I failed to mention, insecurities that I project, sleeping with other women. Whitney's hurt, the pure soul I know. I found her in the kitchen asking God, where did I lose myself? And can it be forgiven? Broke me down. She looked at me in my eyes. Is there an addiction? I said no, but this time I lied. I knew that I can't fix it. Pure soul even in her pain. No, she cared for me, gave me a number, said she recommended some therapy." He raps. On the album, he also mentions it once again in the song Worldwide Steppers. Next time, IF a White Bee was out in Copenhagen. Good kid, Mad City Tour. I flourished on them stages. Whitney asked, did I have a problem? I said, I might be racist. Ancestors watching me F was like retaliation. The couple got engaged in 2015, and while they are notoriously private about their family life, Alford shares photos of the family every now and then for the world to see. Now Drake's fans are circling back to that claim about Kendrick allegedly hitting Whitney, and it's wild how obsessed they are with it. It's like they really want it to be true, which is pretty twisted when you think about it. After Whitney posted those new photos on Instagram with Kendrick's glasses, one OVO fan responded, "She's not the one behind the account. Kendrick is forcibly managing her IG account. This is a high level of..." And another Drake superfan wrote, "I'm still waiting on someone to prove Drake was lying. We know Kendrick cheated and moved to New York. Whitney gets on social media to post all types of nonsense, but she won't open her mouth and defend the guy she's been with since high school against allegations." But what's your take on Drake's fans still pushing the narrative that Kendrick is mistreating Whitney? And how do you feel about Drake's sneak dissing and threatening Kendrick with round 2? Drop your comments below. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this.